What's up, Savvy Expats? Today we have by far the most unique interview that I've ever had because we are with one of our clients, our youngest client, Barry. It's a pleasure to have you on, brother. I will start with this. I mean, thanks for coming on, but you're 19 years old. You were 19 years old when you moved to the Philippines.
Yep.
I just have to start with this. Like, how are you able, and you're 20 now, at such a young age, at 19 years old, able to afford the freedom to move to the Philippines at such a young age?
Well, I actually dropped out of high school when I was 17 years old, and I started a publishing company in America, and I got it running pretty well, and it was making a decent amount of money. So I originally was gonna move to somewhere like Charlotte, North Carolina, or Raleigh, North Carolina, and I decided that when I went there, there's a lot of drug addicts and all that, and I actually was watching a comedian, and he pointed out some people in the crowd, and he was like, "Where are you guys from?" And he was like, they were like the Philippines. And so I had been looking for some cities to stay like abroad, and so I looked up the Philippines because I had never really heard of the Philippines, and I asked ChatGPT the best places to stay in the Philippines, and it said BGC, so I looked up BGC, and I found your YouTube channel. So
beautiful, brother, beautiful. So, I mean, going back to where you started off with work, I mean, you started a publishing company at 19. That's wild, man. And what did your parents think about it? Because, like, obviously, you dropped out in high school and started a published company. Obviously, that's not a very traditional route, but what were their thoughts on that?
they were pretty supportive.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I got things going, and they were pretty happy.
For me, I find it super interesting because for a lot of people, you've done within 2-3 years at the age of 19 what most people try to achieve come by the time that they're 50, 60 years old. A lot of our expats, of course, that are moving here to the Philippines and arbitraging their lifestyle and are completely set with their nest egg, come here like middle age, but you've done that at such a young age. And so, I mean, it's really unique that you started that publishing company very early on. But I know you like kind of researched the Philippines. What really attracted you to the Philippines in the first place, other than like the beaches and whatnot?
Yeah, well, BGC was definitely the most attractive thing here in the Philippines for me. I really wanted to live in like a metropolitan, and the metropolitan I wanted to move to was Charlotte, North Carolina, or Raleigh, North Carolina.
Yeah.
But when I went to them and visited them to see if I would like it, it's just homeless people sitting on benches and needles on the ground, and I'm like, this is not really the environment I want to live in. So so I did a lot of research on BGC. I saw that there's no homelessness, I mean, in BGC. Maybe outside of the bubble, but there's no drugs. It's an environment that I really wanted to live in because there's not all that here in BGC.
Absolutely. It's like you got the same sort of metropolitan lifestyle that you were looking for in Raleigh, North Carolina, but without like the crime and the drugs and the homelessness. So
and the prices are like a third of the price of North Carolina.
Absolutely. And we will get into like how your cost of living looks like now here in the Philippines, especially versus what it would have looked like in the States. But when would you say it was that we initially hopped on our first discovery call together? Because I remember you mentioned that you found me off the YouTube channel.
I think our first discovery call was 8 months ago.
8 months ago. Wow. It's crazy that like we've known each other for 8 months and time has really flew by fast. And what really even initially motivated you to reach out to me and my team?
Yeah, well, I mean, you had the most content for BGC besides a few other YouTubers, but you had been here since you were 16 or 17 years old.
Yeah.
And you had been making content, and you had libraries and libraries of content with every question that I could possibly ask. And coming from somebody who lives here, that was very valuable information when I was trying to make the move here. So it's kind of like I knew you because I had watched all your videos. So when I was very unsure of moving somewhere because my family was like, really, you're moving to Asia? And my brother was like, what? Like everybody was kind of starstruck and so yeah, it was definitely a lot easier for me to make the move because I felt like I knew you just from your content. So when we got on that call, I was like, yeah, let's do this. Yeah,
100%. And I was just going to ask that, is like, because trusting somebody with an entire new chapter and transition of your life is a very big step. And I guess like it was through the content, through the videos that it kind of gave you that familiarity with me. And in the planning stages of your move, Barry, like obviously it's a very big transition to come out here to the Philippines. What would you say were some of your main concerns in the process of making this big transition here?
Well, for sure, just moving across Asia, I really wasn't sure if like it was really how it seemed. And there's a lot of controversial takes on YouTube, like, oh, it's not really like this. And then some people hyping it up so much to where it's like so unbelievably good. And so that was really my main concern. Like, am I gonna go to Asia and not like it? And then I'm gonna be like, okay, well, I'm here. And I just rented an apartment for 3 months. And I was just very concerned with that, I'd say. And I was also just very concerned because I've only been out of the United States once before I came here, and that was in Mexico. So I've really never traveled overseas. But when I got here, definitely a lot of those things were like, yeah, it's nice. The people here speak English, which is a huge plus, and it's a lot easier to like, if I was going somewhere where they don't speak English, I think I would have a very difficult time. And I would feel very lonely, I'd say.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, just to kind of summarize, you mentioned that like it was a flight, it was sort of like how to even start off with your life in Asia, how to navigate it, and also like the rental situation.
Yeah.
And obviously, I will say it like this, Barry, obviously like you've proven that you can do things by yourself. At 19, you started your own publishing company. That brings me to kind of ask, like, what made you want to use me and my team's help for your transition to the Philippines as opposed to doing it by yourself? Because probably, let's be real, probably could have done it by yourself, right?
Yeah, I probably could have done it by myself, but I probably wouldn't have done it by myself at the end of the day. There was just too much uncertainty, and I really had no idea what I was doing. So I'm very glad that I got some help, and you guys basically did everything for me. And so that made the move a lot less stressful, because even when I was just thinking about it, looking up YouTube videos and seeing if I even wanted to live there, it was very stressful just even thinking about moving to Asia. But when I talked to you, it alleviated a lot of the stress. I was very confident that I was making the right decision because I'd watch your YouTube videos, I had talked to you, and you were going to help me do everything. Yeah,
and so I mean, with that being said, you obviously, like you mentioned, that the main priority with working with us was just to kind of take the stress off of your shoulders. What would you say are like the specific services or help that you got from me and my team to make this move to the Philippines?
Well, yeah, I definitely got a ton of help, and I had a lot of questions about the banking, money, moving here. Definitely getting the apartment was the number one thing that I was most concerned about, because on Airbnb you can rent an apartment here for 3 months if you don't use Airbnb, and you can do it for $600. But on Airbnb, the same apartment is like $1,200.
Yeah,
so it's like, I'm not trying to spend $1,200 on an apartment. That was just kind of, I might as well go to Charlotte, North Carolina at that point. But so that was definitely the big thing, getting an apartment. Setting up my banking was definitely a big thing. The whole visa situation, I was very uncertain about, because I don't know anything about visas. I didn't even have a passport at the time. Like, I had been to Mexico as a kid, and at the time you didn't even need a passport. So I had to get a passport. So it's just those kind of things, the legal things, getting the ACR card, getting set up here to where I feel secure and I'm not going to get deported. And yeah, just that kind of stuff was very concerning for me in the first place. And it definitely alleviated a lot of stress when you guys were helping me out with it.
I'm glad to hear that, man. And you've also been a real joy to work with. Yeah, like, and so switching gears, Barry, more into your life here in the Philippines, how would you say your lifestyle here in the Philippines is different compared to the life that you had back in the U.S.?
Yeah, so in the life that I had in the U.S., it's definitely a lot different, because I was living with my parents even when I started making money, because I was really just focused on my business. And but even then, I was still spending a lot of money on going out and car insurance. I mean, I had to pay for my own car insurance, and I also had to pay 50% of the car note. And so even that stuff, I was still spending like $1,000 a month just living with my parents and eating their food. Wow. So I was like, I can't even imagine how much I'd be spending if I want to move to Raleigh or Charlotte, North Carolina.
By yourself, covering the rent myself. And the food. So you were spending $1,000 per month just from your insurance, your car expenses. What else was it that?
I mean, I had a girlfriend at the time, so taking her out on dates and that kind of stuff.
Every time you go out for dates.
Yeah, I remember I took her out on a date, and it was like a little breakfast place, and we got like 2 meals, and it was $50, and I was like,
That's
$50?
Wild. That's insane.
And it wasn't even that good. It was like I could get that here for max $15.
Yeah,
like just a little plate of bacon, toast, and eggs, basically.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, because here with my girlfriend here in the Philippines, it's like we can go out and I'm sure with you as well. Like, you can go out to nice places, go to different bars, bar hop, and experience sort of the life out here and enjoy it for a relatively affordable cost of living. If I was back in the States and I was going out on a date with my girl, I'd probably be like, yeah, we're just McDonald's are a special occasion. You know what I mean? But and so like obviously you're still spending quite a bit even with living your parents in the States. Talk to me about like, how is your cost of living here in the Philippines different compared to the cost of living you had back in the U.S.?
Yeah, so obviously I wasn't paying rent, and that's obviously the biggest thing. And that was the thing that I was most worried about when I moved out, was how much is my rent going to be? So originally when I was looking at places in North Carolina, I was on the fence about getting a $1,500 apartment or getting a room in a house with no bathroom for $800. That's like 30 minutes away from the city. So if I want to do anything, I'm going to have to drive 30 minutes to the city.
Yeah, so you're not really even in the city.
Okay. So with that, I would have had a car, whether I buy it cash or do the payment. We'll just say that's $300 a month for like a kind of crappy used car, because I don't really care about that kind of stuff. And then the insurance, we'll just say $150. And then the rent itself was going to be like $800, $900, and then the gas and all that. So we're talking like $2,500 just to like have a decent time, maybe go out once in a while, buy groceries, go out to a restaurant or something. And I was like, $2,500 for that kind of lifestyle. It just, especially when I can go anywhere in the world because I work on the internet, I was like, there's really no reason to even do this. And so that was what really attracted me to the Philippines, because it's kind of like I would be living, I feel like the lifestyle I would be living like at the top tier in Charlotte, North Carolina would cost like $10,000 a month. Not top tier, but like where I'm very happy. And like,
you're unrestricted.
Yeah, unrestricted. And like I have a nice view from my condo and all that, but here, I have a nice view for $800 a month, including utilities.
Wow.
And like you saw my view, it's literally the whole BGC skyline, or the whole BGC skyline. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And like the condo is nice, the amenities are nice. I live right on top of Venice Mall, so like literally I go downstairs, take an elevator, and boom, I'm in Venice Mall. And I can go to the gym. I got my gym. I got marketplace. I can go get groceries.
So everything's around you.
Yeah, I can basically do everything. I basically don't have to leave Venice Mall in my condo if I don't want to.
That's gorgeous, man. So just to kind of summarize, your expenses back in the U.S. would have been around $2,500.
Yeah, for a very subpar lifestyle.
For a subpar lifestyle, restricted lifestyle where you can't really get everything you want. But here in the Philippines, in total, what would you say sort of your cost of living looks like here, ballpark range?
I'd say ballpark range. I'd say on a conservative month, it's probably around $2,000. I mean, I order out a lot, so that's probably my main expense, but even that is still cheaper than what I'd be paying in America doing my, cooking and doing my own food.
But that's with like a lifestyle where you get a lot more here.
Yeah, and I'm still living like a lifestyle. Like me and my girlfriend, we go out a decent amount, like a few times a week. We go to pretty decent restaurants, nice restaurants. So yeah, I'd say $2,000 a month just staying in BGC. If I want to go to like Palawan, or if I want to go somewhere, I'd probably end up paying like $2,500 to $3,000 a month if I like really want to have a crazy lifestyle and travel a lot around just the Philippines. But for now, I'm pretty much just really working a lot and just staying in the Philippines. So really right now, I'd say about $2,000 a month.
Beautiful, man. And in terms of your rent, you mentioned it's how much again here?
$800 including utilities.
Including utilities. That's really good. And is that a one bedroom?
It's a studio.
A studio? Okay. Yeah, and in terms of your experience, like how would you say your experience was using me and my team's help for your move to the Philippines?
It was definitely really easy. I mean, I basically put in my email on your website and we booked a call within like the next 2 days, and no reschedules or anything. We were both on time on the call, and I decided to go with you, and immediately you hooked me up with your assistants on WhatsApp, and I was able to ask them any question I want, and the whole process was just really simple.
Yeah, and I'm glad to hear that. Again, like the main thing is just kind of having peace of mind for your move. And last question, in terms of like our help and whatnot, what would you say like to the people out there that are debating on DIYing, doing this move by themselves versus actually getting professional help for their transition like you did?
It definitely depends on your situation, but I'd say on average, I would definitely find somebody to help you. And there's a lot of ways that you can get scammed here with rentals. A lot of people won't even give you your security deposit back.
Yeah.
A lot of people will just take your money straight up, and I've heard of tons of people who, especially white people, who come here and they pay the rent, they pay the security deposit, and they don't even get the apartment. And then the other thing is the white tax. I mean, the Filipinos here will really, the people who own the apartments, they figure out you're white, or they know you're white from the start, and they're definitely most likely gonna raise your rent up quite a bit. So having someone who hires Filipinos to go and search for the apartments is like a game changer. And overall, with how much I paid you, you probably saved me more money than I would have saved just doing it myself, because I probably would have gotten overcharged on a lot of things.
Yep.
So not only did I save money, but I also had someone to walk me through the whole process and do a lot of things for me.
100%, man. You know, and I will say, bro, like your journey and where you've come from, like it's really inspiring. We're always gonna get haters on YouTube that are like, yeah, his daddy's money and whatever. But I've seen it like yourself. You've worked very hard for this life, and you worked very fast. And like for you to achieve the same freedom that people worked until 50 to 64 at the age of 20 is extremely impressive. So thanks for being on here, Barry.
Yep, no problem.
And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're also looking for help with your transition to the Philippines, just like Barry, you're looking for this new chapter of your life and all of the logistics to be handled for you, then feel free to click the link in the description down below. We'll set up the same call that Barry and I were on in the past. I'll get an understanding of your situation and then draft up a game plan from there. But thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care and God bless.